Actually
It would make casting
magnificent.
so much easier.
And looks like everything's set for now, guys. If I have any problems, I'll fix that later. But starting on the left side of Abyssal City, I'm not going to mess it up this time. Just a pure, simple intro for Vega's showtime.
Spawning across from him, it is the Red Zerg player, the new blood, in this series at least. It is prop Snuff. Snuff.
Snoofy,
Snuffy.
Snoote, Snuffy, Sukke.
Yeah.
All these crazy European names. And
This map, it sucks for Protoss. Like, it's really... Protoss hate this. Almost in every matchup. I would imagine that PvP wouldn't be all too changed by, and the...
sorry, was fixing starboard, so I missed.
Alright. You're lagging a bit there.
Yeah, okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure
You're the
everything
one
was good.
screaming.
Yeah, no fun radio casting this stuff,
Yeah,
but
that would have been awkward.
for those who don't
Alright.
know, let's take a moment here before we get into strategizing. Because again, Abyssal City is not a map a lot of people are used to. Now, you take a look out your main. Here's your natural, pretty standard, no big deal. But there's a ramp here, there's a ramp here, and there's another ramp here, and a huge wide opening leading into your third. So this is not like a base you can turtle in very easily at.
Yeah. It's very, very, very difficult for Protoss to take a third base in this map. So most likely we're going to see some sort of all-in. I honestly think that because of the way that the map is situated, we might see more Blink variant or Stargate variant all-ins than a Sentry Immortal push, because there really there aren't that many natural chokes on the map in order to like kind of abuse force fields.
Yeah, and it's hard.
And
It's
the mobility that Blink grants you is just invaluable as the game goes on.
and it's annoying having to create like that honeycomb sort of shape with force fields, wasting all that extra energy because of the lack of chokes.
Yeah.
And ooh, look at all these waypoints going down for the pro. Jesus. He is forced to go off though. 5 health remaining. Didn't really delay all that much.
Unfortunately. It is regenerating shields at this point, so it will be a two-shot if a drone does decide to take it out. Nope. Completely unfazed, the probe walks out of the base.
Mighty and victorious.
Yeah.
Cannons going down at home. Pylon, gateway, wall, etc. Love Protoss all day, every day. I don't. I've not seen anything bust this frontal wall other than a Spinecrawler rush, like in any game ever.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's actually a pretty tight choke, all things considered. It's really the fact that there are two entrances into I guess three entrances into the natural area that makes it kind of unfavored by Protoss. Nice Overlord placements though.
Oh, and this probe will. Okay, I was getting hunted at the moment. Yeah, a little annoying that you can't quite deal with these overlords. I mean, the cannon's there, but no vision up on the high ground.
Nope.
And
I
something.
think like this is one of the coolest maps in my opinion, like from a just an artistic point of view.
The
There's so much
coral
going on,
reefs and the
the fact
mining
that
and
I love watching Terran play on this map because whenever anything
those
gets
space
destroyed,
fish. Those are space fish.
yeah, space fishy. Whenever any of their units get destroyed, the debris floats up, as it is underwater.
Yeah, I know. I always forget that it's underwater until you remember, like, that's why there's this kind of blue hue over the entire map.
Yeah, it's such a really great looking map. But we do have Zealot coming first, and let's see. Yeah, not all too much Pernabu saved up quite yet, so not going to see any sort of immediate 4-gate pressure coming out of this. Additional queens are in production right now. No gas quite yet.
It's Snoofe, however you want to pronounce it, is doing what he should be doing, and that is droning up. And,
And there's the Stargate. All right. So, are we going to see a second Stargate? This probe. No, it's immediately going back to mining. I thought it may have put one on the other side.
yeah, so this may just start out as that harass rather than like an all-in. But we'll
Yeah.
see what happens. Protoss, very unpredictable. Very, I can do whatever I want.
Phoenix are really, really good on this map. It's so wide, and being able to limit your opponent's vision and prevent him from going mutas, or at least deter him from going mutas, if not outright prevent.
Well, not to
That tech
mention,
choice.
as you notice, there are some sneaky overlord positions on the map, and you want to clean those up as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But oh, a Void Ray actually starting from the Stargate.
Yeah, Void Ray, and then we should see two or more Phoenix follow this up. This will give him a little bit of a way to abuse his opponent's main natural queen. If there's not an immediate response with Spore Callers, etc., which I believe that we should see. It also gives you a little bit of opportunity to pressure the third base as well.
Well, even if Spore Crawlers go down, we all know once that Void Ray is fully charged, they don't really last that long. Spore Crawlers,
Yeah.
of course, I mean, not the Void Ray. But of course, I guess if it's not charged, then it's the complete role reversal.
Blizzard was actually saying that they were going to take a look at Void Rays after this next balance patch in Heart of the Storm. So I'm kind of intrigued as to what the... Alright, so is this a Space Shark? Like, I'd imagine this is like a self-contained...
I think this is a regular shark.
Part of a planet. This is, you would consider this a regular shark, so it's not like a space space water shark?
If it's underwater, man, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Never really had this conceptual philosophical debate about the space shark before, so my apologies. Didn't come well equipped to deal with
I don't know. If we see, I would hate to see this on ladder, specifically because there would be an omission of the space shark. But these Phoenix are going to work on some of the overlords surrounding his opponent's base.
Showing his hand like this, I mean, a lot of people kind of, you maybe want to save the Phoenixes so you got a ton in the field, but the reality is, since you have that Void Ray, you don't want your opponent getting air. And by showing that there are Phoenixes on the map, this will really be not likely that they're going air. And just to harken something with the Phoenixes, because I was having this talk yesterday, and nobody seems to remember it. When the beta version of the Phoenix came out, and they had that, like, overdrive ability, do you recall that?
No.
Oh my goodness,
I don't.
It would make them shoot out, like, you know how they got those two little lasers? Like, 8 at once for, like, 5 seconds type thing. And then it would go into this huge cooldown, and they couldn't fire again for a little while. But that was instead of Graviton Beam.
Oh, okay.
And I wish that it made it live. But, oh, huge Zergling swarm in here, and again, this huge choke. Sentry's being forced to waste some energy.
Oh my god, the Sentry's actually blocking.
And the Nexus needs to be cancelled. Is not cancelled. And that's going to hurt pretty badly.
Yeah, there goes 400 minerals down the drain, and that was a really cost-effective Zergling counter.
Where did those Phoenixes
from our
go?
Zergling.
Oh, okay.
What's that?
I was looking for Phoenixes. They did go back home. I thought they had been picked off or something, but no, not the case.
They just regrouped.
Yeah, Void Ray catching these roaches in the middle of the map. Definitely won't kill any outright, but gonna make them all very, very low.
Yeah, and a very common transition following up behind this. We have the Twilight Council down in Robotics Bay. One, probably 2 Immortals, and then most likely Colossi, especially after they get this 5th and 6th gas up. However,
look at these
there's
pickups.
a pretty large force coming out here. Roach Zergling primarily, but there's so many Phoenixes on the map, and there's even an Immortal flanking this.
And not to mention
pick
the
off any injured
fully
roaches.
charged Void Ray. I mean, this is getting shut down.
These roaches won't even be able to phase the Immortal. Yeah.
Just sniping from afar. And that Void Ray with 8 kills, let's check the Immortal. Only 1. Got there a little bit late to the party, but the Phoenixes, I mean, that crowd control effect, man.
Yeah.
And a 4th base coming down for our Zerg player behind that. So, I mean, granted, he did lose a lot. Just hopefully it wasn't enough to prompt Showtime to push, or else this base is going to get caught.
Yeah, that's all I wanted, really. It's difficult for the Protoss to push behind something that like doesn't include mass AoE when your opponent's lane count is getting up pretty high. Because he used a lot of force fields. I mean, he has 4 sentries remaining, but most of his sentries are down below half energy, and they were sitting at full for quite a while there.
Well, he does have the capability to warp in more if needed, but oh, this gate, okay, it is shut. The Zealot is there. Was a little worried for a second, Panda.
He's even warping an additional 2 Zealots to make sure that does not happen.
And that +2 weapons on the way with extended thermal lance. That 4th base has been scouted and sufficiently harassed by these Phoenixes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, though, they're not going for that Queen. Must not have the energy. No, they don't have the energy right now.
And here comes the Hive and the Spires, so we will see a Broodlord transition. Ultralisks are actually relatively common in this map, but not in this matchup.
Ooh, we do see it sort of split off here, but again, this huge... Actually, that's a full wall off here at the 3rd base location for a Protoss player. Yeah, and
I've even seen like upwards of 6 cannons being placed here in certain situations to try and protect it, because it is very, very vulnerable base. It's so far extended from your natural.
Yeah, and I was just quick comment on Ultralisk. While they would be cool to see, I don't think I've actually really ever seen Ultralisk used against Protoss. The addition of Immortals is just kind of ridiculous.
Hmm. 5 additional gates coming in here for a Protoss, so he's going to have a lot of additional production. Extended Thermal Lance is finishing up pretty soon, and +2 is done within 2 seconds. So we could see a very powerful timing following this up, but with +3 weapons researching, it looks like he will wait until he's maxed or until close to maxed.
And trying to pick up a couple of these roaches, but doesn't really have the DPS when you split off those phoenixes like that.
Oh no, he's just going to push. Alright. This is a very nice timing. It's hitting right before his opponent's Greater Spire morphs.
Yeah, 9 Corruptors coming out.
Yeah, to try and deal with the Colossi, but with 3 here, he's just going to warp in almost pure Stalker with this push, and even Hallucination is being researched behind this.
Not something you see utilized too often, but if you can bait your opponent into volleying the wrong Colossus, even if only once, you've just saved so much damage.
Yeah, definitely.
It's kind of like a ghetto PDD, actually, if you think about it. But Corruptors are pushing out here, poking around. Oh, they are going to find these Phoenixes.
Yeah.
Rather unfortunate, but only the loss
Just
of one.
so tanky. Alright, so this is a really nice position in order to defend. Again, it's primarily Zergling composition though, so he's going to need to do something as far as getting a flank, getting a surround, to really utilize those effectively.
Oh man, and the Protoss player is pushing up.
And this is a
Spine
beautiful
crawlers.
position that the Protoss player has gotten himself into. Sacrificing the Phoenix there, only dealing paltry damage to the Corruptors, but here comes the Infestor Ling Force, and nice Funkos go down and pretty much the entire
Beautiful force fields as well. None of these
Yeah.
Zerglings are going to connect with the
Oh,
army,
man.
but unfortunately the Colossi are falling to these Corruptors.
Despite getting taken out though, this Colossi just did so much damage. They cleaned up almost all of the Lings, and there are only 2 in Funk Gross left. And this is a lot of Link Stalkers to contend with. We have 66 Zerglings in production to try and clean up this force, but 3-3
Not to
is
mention the
still
Immortal's
pretty
still
decent.
standing, 17 kills on it. Holy moly.
Yeah. And the shields are regenning it. Infestor's trying to burrow and get out of there, unfortunately blocked.
Drones have been pulled.
Yeah.
Not quite the throwing in the towel yet, as these Stalkers are actually dying.
He will be able to clean this up here with the remaining Ling Force, but that Void Ray is just doing so much damage. 17 kills to its name so far. And he's
picking up
killed
Overlords.
so many drones, my god.
Oh, but it does finally go down to the Infested Terrans. 27 workers killed, plus this base has kind of been force evacuated for now. He can't really get back in here anytime soon. He's used almost all of his larvae trying to hold off that first push.
We have 18 roaches in production right now. Should deal pretty well with this force, but I mean, these infested Terrans are just going to come down piecemeal, and it's really not using the energy to the greatest effect.
And with that War Prism reinforcing, this base is gone. The Infestors are nestled here safely, but it's only a matter of time until...
Yeah, if he had an Observer with you, this game would have already been over. The Infested Terran buying himself a little bit of time, but I mean, he can't use his bank at this point. Nearly 2k resources, but he has just no larva. 1, 2 coming in now.
Yeah, he's waiting for them to pop, but it's just the unfortunate truth is, and oh no, why were drones brought back into this? I guess trying to mine off this while he can. Roach is burrowing, trying to get that heal up. Actually, a
That
pretty
would be a
smart
sucky
choice.
job.
But look at this. Oh yeah, that's right. There's another base right over here. I guess I'll kill
Yeah,
that.
here we go. If this base falls, this is pretty much the nail in the coffin here for a Zerg player.
Drones
If he
being
can
back.
stabilize at any point, he can get Broodlords out. And that'll definitely help him going forward, but
Yeah,
right now...
he has that monster bank, as you said before. He can't spend anything. He needs to get
Yeah.
Broodlords out, but Lings, Roaches coming across the middle of the field, going for, I guess, a retaliation. I don't think he wants to engage this.
It's so hard to engage from this point. I mean, the Protoss has got himself into a very nice position after taking out that first engagement pretty handily. On both of the bases died. This should be the beginning of the end here for our Protoss, or for our Zerg player.
And check the workers killed, up to 37 guys. Roaches are hitting the front of Showtime's base, but force fields are down as sentries were warped in time. And I think if Snoofy is hoping for a base race, or a base trade rather, it's not going to happen, not today. All these drones coming back, but eating the Colossus volleys. How many kills is this beast up to? 13. I mean,
this
is
so much carnage going down here.
It's unfortunate.
Even the Infested Terran are getting destroyed.
But
we do have 3
Broodlords.
Broodlords, and these will allow
Ooh, and the
to hold on. Actually,
Stalkers.
pretty nice fungal growing down on the majority of the Stalkers there.
Beautifully holding them in position. And this is going to allow Snoopy to push back, but again, he's been knocked down to 2 bases. And his Roaches are taking out the Robo facility to take out the Forge. He's actually doing some smart tech choices here. But he hasn't killed that many workers. There's no real crippling economy, and Stalkers are just warped into the back. Broodlords and Infestors are moving out, but, I mean, these Infestors don't have a lot of energy, but they got plenty for a couple Fungals.
I love that there are like no observers in the field, and there haven't been for so freaking long.
And there can't be because the Robo was taken out, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't even consider that.
Yeah.
And Showtime can't afford to really leave. Oh! How is he... I guess there must be an observer somewhere. Oh, there it is. So, like, one observer finally floats over. God knows where he's been all game.
Alright.
I thought
with
for a
these
moment...
Colossi, he actually has a pretty good army to contend with what his opponent's composition is, but he needs to most likely sacrifice this 3rd base. Keep in mind, his opponent, the Zerg, has 20 drones to his name right now. This is like, if this push dies, that's game. So he can continue to warp in like reinforcement wave after reinforcement wave to get something that can actually take this out before he really commits.
While these Broodlords are important, the Infestors are equally important. If they're exposed in the back to this Colossus fire, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Oh, and the Stalker's blinking forward, not quite catching that, and oh, the Fungal even catching the Observer, but not really important anymore. Although this will allow the Infestors to burrow and run away if needed. Lots of Infested Terrans coming out on top of these Stalkers.
Trying to snipe these Broodlords, being pretty successful so far, but the Stalker count is getting pretty low. One of the Colossi falls, the second one is
it might actually fall because there's still...
dying.
Oh, the Corruptor got morphed into a Broodlord. See, the Corruptor could chase, but there are Archons now. And this is something Showtime needed before, did not quite have. And those Stalkers, while kind of sacrificed almost in vain, did pick off about 3 Broodlords, so only 4 remaining.
He has a pretty ridiculous gas count at this point too, so he can just continue to warp in more Archons. With no fungal growth left, yeah, there's the last fungal going down. This should be the end of the game. Or not. I mean, he could really just use the probes to buffer.
Yeah, no 3rd base has been remade yet. Or I think it was trying to be remade,
it was
sniped.
sniped. There was a Zealot drop with the War Prisms, but
Yeah.
it was only 2 Zealots there.
So we got a long distance mining going on, but oh, the Stalker! Okay, those were burrowed. Do pick off the Broodlords though. With the Broodlords dead, Infestors will not win you this game. Not when they're all this out of energy. But both players, interestingly enough, are forced to long distance mine right now. Neither has the economy to do much. But the difference is Showtime has an army and Snoofade doesn't.
No.
And,
I'm gonna grab some more tea while we're waiting for a GG.
Yeah, go ahead. There's not a whole lot else that's gonna change dynamically.
I don't think this game is going on much longer.
The long distance mining drones are being pulled out. Some Infested Terrans being thrown down. I guess this is kind of the last stand, but Showtime was walking away, so these Terrans aren't going to get to do anything really. And GG from